out in the car.
Can you give me that document again?
Okay, I did it right this time.
Okay. It's in
Didn't have to.
the folder named American. You are an American curator, and the file name is Counterfeit Plus.
Wait, I can't write as fast as you're talking. AMERI, America. Okay.
American. You are an American curator. CURATOR.
Okay.
That's the file folder. And then the file that's in the folder is Counterfeit Plus Rev 1 document.
You know what's good too? You can go into files in the Yahoo group and just put latest version. And just use latest version all the time, and you'll see it there on top of the list.
Yes.
The latest version works for me all the time.
Right. If you go into the file section and do latest version right away, that'll bring up that directory. And then enter that directory and do latest version, latest first, and that will bring up the new file.
I really don't.
Yeah, you have a choice of alphabetically or latest first, and I always use the latest first on the right side, I think.
Hi, guys. This is Pat.
Hi, Patricia.
Hi. Are the 1099-Cs back?
Yeah, read the new document, Patrick's new document. Looks like they are.
Okay.
And you will explain.
Yeah, I sent you a copy of that, Pat. I don't know whether you got that Counterfeit Plus Rev 1 document.
I'm just looking here.
I've got it on Skype for you there.
Yeah. Okay, I got that.
So we're going back to doing our 1099-Cs, but we're endorsing them.
No, you just wait and listen, Tom.
Okay, very good.
Okay, you've got to understand what is going on here. Basically, why everything has been pretty much wrong out here in the process. Okay, all this accepted for value and everything else, they never really gave you the true right way to do it. Okay, they were just guessing at it.
Patty listening.
Okay, so everybody, I want them to have a copy of that printed out so that you can basically go through this as I go through it. I tried to highlight certain things in that document so that it would stand out to you a little more. And this is what people need to do, is take the words and in a group of words like this, put down the definitions and then bounce back and forth between the different definitions to find out what's really going on. You can't go through the whole dictionary and do this. You need to pull these things out and then start looking at them. And the one that I started with was counterfeit. And then I just kept building upon that as I started looking further and further into this. Okay, does everybody have a copy of that printed out?
I've got it on the screen in front of me.
I've got it on the screen, and it's printing right now.
Okay. Because that way, if you got a printed copy, you can mark it up as we go along if there's something you see that you need to sort of highlight.
Okay.
you need to do a little work yourself. I mean, basically, you just can't go along and let somebody else do all the work for you, okay? That means you have to pick up the pen in hand and do a little scratching. Sort of like the chicken. Basically, the chicken ain't going to find the worm unless they scratch the dirt.
Okay.
Okay, is everybody pretty much ready?
I am.
No,
yes.
no dissenters?
Ready to roll.
Okay. The first word that's on there is behind, okay? Used for listed equity securities at the same price but entered after your order or interest, such as on the specialist book, antithesis of ahead of you. I don't know if you guys can see what that is saying. Our securities are behind the counter. They're not out in front of the counter. That is the only word that basically I pulled out of the financial dictionaries. They had very little in there in regards to counter, because they do not deal with counter in the financial, those two financial dictionaries that I posted up there. They deal with everything that is out in the open. Okay, because they can't see what's behind the counter. Now, the next word is cashier. An officer of a moneyed institution who is entitled by virtue of his office to take care of the cash and monies of such institutions. The cashier of a bank. Your fictional person, your Social Security person, your person that's on your certificate of live birth, they became the procurator and procurated our assets from us. So they have our assets in bank. Okay? Now, a cashier, in the next definition down, an officer of a moneyed institution, a commercial house or bank, who is entrusted with and whose duty it is to take care of the cash or money of such institution or bank. The cashier of a bank is the executive officer. You are the American Principal Executive Officer. You are also the cashier. And this will become very prominent in going through the other words that I got down here. Now, under military law, cashier in military law, to deprive a military officer of his rank in office. To cashier, to break, to deprive a military man of his office. Example, every officer who shall be convicted before a general court-martial of leaving signed a false certificate relating to the absence of either officer or private soldier or related to his daily pay shall be cashiered. You are are the cashier. And you, if you do not do this signing as a cashier properly on these bills, then you are depriving your military man, your merchant seaman, of his just pay. That's why some of these people go to jail, because they are cashiering. You are being cashiered because you did not do your cashiering job. A counter bond, the next definition down, a bond of indemnity. A counterclaim, a claim presented by a defendant in opposition to or declaration from the claim of the plaintiff. Counterfeit, to make something falsely or fraudulently in the absence of that which is true. Also, the thing so made. Counterfesis, counterfeiting, counterfeit, to make a copy without authority or right. Yes, they counterfeited our personage, but they also gave us a counter security. That Social Security card or account is a counter security. We are the indemnified. Okay? And also the certificate of live birth, the DD-214. Those are securities.
Bill Smith.
About time you got here.
Okay, Pat. What's up, man?
Okay. You're going to have to listen to the first part because I've already gone through about the first 3/4 of the page. Okay? Then to counterfeit, to make something false. And when you do not sign this, you are making it a false item. You are keeping it as a false document. Countermand. The word signifies a change or recall of orders previously given. You have the authority to countermand something that is not right. Okay? So you need to know these words and see we're living in the counter world. All of our stuff is behind the counter, like I said at the very beginning. Okay? Now, you start getting into the biggie here. Countersign. To countersign is to sign on the opposite side of an instrument already signed by another person or officer in order to secure its character of a genuine paper, as a bank note is signed by the president and countersigned by the cashier. The executive officer.
Hey, can that guy mute there, shuffling his stuff there?
Yeah, there's somebody shuffling papers back there or something. We hear a lot of background noise.
Gosh, man, I don't know where their brain is, man. Every freaking time is like that.
Patrick, let me do the *5 to mute everybody out, and then you can come back in.
Okay, I'm back on here. Yes, to countersign, you basically sign on the opposite side of the instrument as the cashier. A counter security, security given to one who has entered into a bond or became surety for another. A countervailing bond of indemnity. And also a countersign, a signature by a secretary or other subordinate officer to any writing signed by the principal or superior to vouch for the authenticity of it. Now, a countervailing equity, okay, is a contrary balancing equity. It balances out. So what is on the one side of the counter is now being balanced by this countervailing equity. Damnification, that which causes a loss or damage to society or to one who has indemnified another. So if you do not go in and do the countersigning of these bills and everything that we do get out here, instead of doing an accepted for value, and then you have to do a 1099 OID with them to properly, a 1099-C to properly cancel the debt for the bill, and you send that back to the utility company or to the mortgage company or whoever. But you take that document, that mortgage contract or whatever, and you sign it on the back. You go into court, and the court, you've heard this numerous times, the court always turns the document over. What are they looking for? They're looking for your counter signature as the cashier to bring about the settlement of that issue. You get a traffic ticket. The signing on the front as the undersigner is not you, the living. It is your fictionary person. His name is already on the document, so you can go ahead and put his name on there, but you, as the living, turn the document over and you do a counter signing of it. Give them the 1099-C or whatever to cancel the debt. They get the B copy, the A copy goes to the IRS. Now you have them, okay? But you always keep a copy of this after you've done the counter signing of it. Now, I also had habeas corpus in there. I sent my habeas corpus documents into the Selective Service, or the Secret Service, and to the Inspector General. They are in charge of counterfeiting. And you're going to be now involved with counterintelligence. The real intelligence out here. Not this imaginary intelligence that everybody's running around with in the fictional world and believing everything that all these other gurus are running around out here that haven't taken the time to look these words up. You stay away from all the codes. I've tried to stress that. You get into their codes, and now you are giving credence to them. You're on the wrong side of the counter. You need to stay behind the counter. I put up immunity and immutable, and then indemnity. that which is given to a person to prevent his suffering damage. We are the indemnified. We have been given an indemnity security out here. Now, on page 3, I put an example of a countersigned document that you can print out, put on the back of a piece of paper, and print that out on the back of the document, and then put the prevailing bond of indemnity, which would either be your Social Security number or your EIN, and or a subsecurity such as a driver's license or title to a vehicle or whatever, or the mortgage contract. Then you post, sign, and seal and date that, and then you put your red thumbprint over, but you are the indemnified TEO curator - cashier. Put a 3-cent stamp down at the bottom of it, and now it is posted. Now, if you have been paying in, like on the mortgage, you can also address your counterclaims with on the back of this document that you are presenting a counterclaim to them to make the payment back to you of what they have withheld. Now, if they don't, then we will proceed. We will give them a 1099-C to cancel the debt on the mortgage that is still owed, or on the utility bill, or on the traffic ticket. And then on the front side of that ticket, you just say, see backside. Fill out the 1099-C to cancel and counter the prepaid debt. Your counter person is the creditor. The biller or the writer of that instrument is the debtor. Keep a copy of all the documents. Send the signed, countersigned bill, the B copy of the 1099-C back as payment and settlement. Now, if you paid out of your back pocket, then you need to do a 1099 OID as a payment by the indemnified reclaimed. You were the indemnified. You made a payment. You have to reclaim that. And to collect, you collect all the receipts and everything that you've made payment on. You get the recipient's home address, home office address. You add up all the receipts, put them on a voucher or an invoice document, and then you fill out the 1099 OID to reclaim the secondary payment. And the 1099 OID, you're going to be the payer as the living, and your identification number is your federal zone number, which is your post office plus your 4-digit box number. You can basically identify your EIN, your person's EIN or Social Security number down in the account or in the description block, and the recipient is going to be that mortgage company, that utility company, that Walmart, that Subway, whoever, okay, that you have the receipts for. You fill out a 1040-V or 1041 for the recipient, and they have to make the payment to the Treasury, to the United States Treasury. Then you send the invoice to 1040V or 1041V plus the B copy of the 1099 OID to the recipient. You send the A copy, and that should have been OID, not 1099C, and 1096 to the IRS. Then you turn around and file a 1040 or 1041 to get the withholding tax return. I don't think it can be any simpler than that. Especially when you sit down and go through these words and see what it is saying. And if you don't do this, you are the one that is doing the counterfeiting. You're the one that is wrong, because we're on the opposite side of the counter. And the judges and everything else in these court cases are looking for that counter signature on the back of those documents. That's why they turn them over. Now, on your traffic ticket, if you have an appearance bond, you turn around and you put that, you list that right on the back. After you've done your countersigning on there for canceling the ticket, you turn around and you do a counterclaim to have that clerk of the court make restitution for the appearance bond. You appeared. Now give me my bond. That's why that one guy basically said he'd love to go get a traffic ticket because he always got money back. See, nobody ever knew half this stuff. You got a guy running around claiming to be a judge, Judge Dale. Well, hell, he should have known this basically right up front, but he ain't telling anybody about this. So is he a real judge or is he just a blowhard? I get so damn pissed off at some of these people out here claiming to be so-called experts, and they really aren't. I've just been trying to find out the truth the whole damn time. So I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I know what I've been doing, okay? So, okay. Go ahead and open up the questions, Tom. Tom.
Hey, Patrick, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think you muted everyone else out. I'm looking at the third page, countersign, where you put on the back of your instrument or whatever it is. It says underneath the box, do not countersigning the back. You are now the counterfeiter and the one to be cashiered. So you're saying
by not countersigning the back, you are now a counterfeiter and the one to be cashiered.
Okay. So
if you don't do this, you're going to go to jail.
Right. So you have to. It says here, posted, signed, sealed, and dated, and then under that by the overstanding will of, and then the line is where you sign your Mrs. or Mr. PEO.
Yes.
And then you put your stamp, your thumbprint, and your embosser. And
yes.
Then follow this. Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to put those other two lines on there.
Right.
Okay.
Which other two lines?
Just what's inside the box there, or circle, or whatever. Okay.
Yes, obviously, yeah. I get it. I see what you're doing. Very nice. This is very, very hot. This is hot stuff.
Yeah, and then, see, we were close on all the 1099 OIDs when I was talking about that about 45 years ago. But we didn't have the federal identification number, knowing that that was our zip code plus our 4 digits.
Right.
And we kept trying to use the Social Security person on that document. No, that's really our document, the livings. We're the indemnified.
Right. That is so awakening. So I can, okay, I'm going to play with this stuff. I'll mute.
Okay, anybody else? *6 if you want to come in and talk.
So for us who have gone through and done the 1099-Cs, what we're basically doing is redoing them by countersigning them on the back.
No. Okay. Now, if you've done some of these 1099-Cs, depending on what it is, you need to think about this, Tom.
Well, mortgage is the one I've done.
Okay. Then you need to turn around and you have to do the countersigning of that on there. And then for what you paid out of your back pocket, you need to do the 1099 OID.
Yes, I understand.
So you may have to do a correction on the 1099-C. We sent in, basically with receipts, a 1099-C, like I did to Dollar General and a couple others, the post office, and we sent those in as 1099-Cs and 1099-As to try and get the payment from them. We should have gone in with a 1099 OID. All those $300 penalty envelopes, they should be under a $300 or under a 1099 OID.
So Patrick, I just did lunch money. That's all I did. So I'll just redo them with correction here. Could that be possible?
Yes, if you need to, yeah. You just need to sit down, go over this, and figure out which way it needs to go now.
Right. You sound like you're losing your voice.
Yeah,
water?
a little. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, drink a lot of water. You must have a lot of snow there.
So we can still go after $300 penalty envelopes with this.
Yes, and all your receipts that you have, okay?
Yes.
You should always collect all your receipts, your gas receipts, okay? The gas companies, they borrowed our money, so we need to cancel those receipts and make them turn around and make the payment to the Treasury. Then we go to the Treasury with the 1099 or 1040 and 1041 to pick up our assets that has already been paid. We're the indemnified.
Okay.
Yeah, we shouldn't be paying for it out of our back pocket. They've been utilizing our assets out here all along, all these oil companies and everything. And then if we don't do this, that we are the ones that are guilty of keeping the country in debt.
And we're still canceling 10 times the debt in Block 2.
No. You cancel what the bill is.
Okay.
We let them take care of the rest of it.
Okay. And I remember they sold my loan, and but I received no service from them. So I just cancel that debt, or can I?
You've got to stop arguing with a third-party debt collector. Do you have a contract with them?
Not at all. But they're claiming to own the house now.
Yeah, and you need to stand up to them. Take them to court.
Okay.
What? That you cancel that debt, and you show that you have set this into the original mortgage company. Now they have to adjust their books with that other third-party outfit.
Okay.
They're the ones that are now in fraud.
And
See where I'm
since,
coming from?
yes.
Okay.
And before, since they provided me no service, I was asking for the $71,000 back. But I gather we don't do that with this method with an OID for that.
Well, you only for what you paid out of your back pocket.
Right.
You
And
put the OID in, and you send that into them with a 1041 or 1040 voucher for them to make the payment to the Treasury.
Right, and since I didn't pay him anything, I don't do an OID for it. Right.
No, you don't have it. You can't do an OID because you didn't pay anything out of your back pocket.
Right.
The OID is only to claim back what came out of your back pocket because you were supposed to be indemnified. So you're getting your indemnification payment back.
And when do we do the 1040 versus the 1041B?
Well, it all depends on whether whether you have an estate EIN or whether you're still operating under just strictly the Social Security number.
Oh, okay. Social Security would be the 1040B. The estate would be the 1041.
Yeah,
okay.
It's the regular 1040, which 90% of the people are under.
Most of us have our estates, and we're getting our foreign grantor trust too now.
Yeah, and then basically you could turn around when you get the foreign grantor. Now you are in a hell of a lot better situation by doing the 1099 OID. And then when you go over that habeas corpus document that I put up there last Friday, and you see what the hell, we go in and we come into the Secretary of Treasury and we put that in that we are wanting our accounts because of the counterfeiting that is going on. The counterfeiting of our personage and everything else. So you go into court and you claim counterfeit. You also claim conspiracy to defraud. And then in that habeas corpus, I should have used, I don't think I put it in there, the usage of a countermand. We are countermanding their original orders. And see, we are the superior in this country. We are not the subordinate. And then all of the UCCs that people have done, okay, our fictional person became the procurator. So he took our assets from us. He procurated them from us. Now he is leasing them back to us. So he is the leaseor and we are the leasee. But we are an indemnified leasee. So that's where we had it wrong on the UCCs. We had it ass backwards. So I think if people take their time and look over these words that I put up here, you will, and I tried to highlight them so you could go from one to another to see what is really taking place here. And then it's all behind the counter. It's not out in the open. I've gotten both of my packages that I sent into the Secretary of State to do a resignation of my registered agent. Well, he's not out in the open. He's behind the counter. So the Secretary of State can't do a damn thing with him. They can only deal what is on the public side of the counter. And we're in the private behind the counter. Hopefully that makes a little sense to you.
Hey, Patrick, can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, this is George. On the 1099-C, are we still doing that 10%, what was it called, tithing? Do we still
No,
do
I
that?
just go ahead and put down the bill that they want and cancel that debt for it.
Okay.
I'll just turn around and put the 1099-C back in, and now you've done the counter signing on the back of the bill, utility bill or whatever, and you send that back into them, and then it's out of your hair. You see, you don't even need to do a 1041 or a 1040 with that 1099-C. You canceled the debt. They're the ones that now have to claim that on their tax form.
How you doing, Patrick?
Okay, what's up?
Yeah, I had a quick question as far as judgments at the end of, let's say, personal injury. Would this apply for that? This process apply for that too, along with the FMS form 194, 195, and 197?
About harm that's been caused to you?
Yes.
No, you're going to have to file a civil complaint into the federal court.
All right, it was already done in district court and filed. And
you're going to have to go into the federal district court, into the magistrate, and now you have to put in the right documents as what has been done. Now that you know about this counter harm, and basically that they have come in and tried to operate by a conspiracy out here. So what I had in that those other documents, that document that I had up there about the conspiracy.
The trump card, court trump card document, right?
The court trump card and the other one, the
overt conspiracy.
Yeah, the overt conspiracy. Okay, when you understand what's in there, you should be able to write up something to go into a federal court. But sometimes it's best to leave the sleeping dogs lie. Okay? Get on with your life. You can't operate in the past. I know everybody likes, revenge is great. Let's go after them. That's all they can think of. I'm going to get my revenge upon them. Well, basically, you concentrate on revenge, and basically you're going to go down because you have just lost all touch with real humanity. You've gone into the dark side, as Darth Vader would have called it.
Oh, we're talking about damages from, personal injury damages here. How do you like a?
Well, you can put a 1099 OID against them.
Personal, face-to-face damage. It's like that.
Huh?
We're talking about like personal injury, face-to-face damages with medical, all of that other great stuff.
Someone caused physical harm to you and sent you to the hospital?
Yes.
You'd have to do it through the federal court, through a circuit or a civil claim.
Yeah, I already have it. I went through the district court.
Yes, but see, you did not know what you needed to do. Now you should know, Okay?
I did. I filed all the proper paperwork, and UCC Finance decided the court case and default judgments and all of that great stuff. I'm at the end of it.
Yeah, and you used too much of their codes and everything else, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You gave credence to them. You need to stay on the constitutional side of the counter.
Yeah, I did that. Well, I submitted the Bill of Rights in a affidavit format, a whole bunch of great stuff inside the
Yeah, but see, that is all the wrong stuff. That's what I'm saying. Okay? All of these guys that have gone to these courts and everything, they've been doing the wrong thing.
Right,
Some people may luck out with this, okay?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out the proper paperwork that I need to claim here.
Well, when you understand the different words about the counterclaim and your authority of being the cashier over your account, and that they have basically caused harm out here, and you do a countermand, and that you are the indemnified, and basically you put the charge in against them utilizing your military person, your seaman, merchant seaman.
Right. Yeah.
But, like I'm saying, okay?
Yeah, I filed quite a bit of liens on the party that the defendant or the person that
I just tried to give you some fucking money, okay?
Right.
I tried to make your fucking life a little fucking easier. Get off the damn other shit. Move on with your fucking life.
Oh yeah. No, I comprehend what you're saying here. I'm just saying what I've done. It was in the past.
Okay.
That was like 2 years ago, man.
Okay, then it's over and done. It's a dead deal.
Yeah, that's the past.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Okay.
But what you're saying? No, you I was just making sure this is this type of process is fits my format. That's all.
Yeah. Well, basically, if people get ahead of the game here, now they'll should never get into that problem. You can go and get a real damn doctor for a change.
What the hell is that?
Mute out.
God, you that freaking bastard. What is this?
Hello, anyone out there?
Yeah, I'm still on here.
He was okay.
You have a question?
No, I heard a lot of static in the phone. I was just wondering what happened.
Well, that happens occasionally. People have their mics open and all kinds of background noise.
I mean, does anybody have any problems with seeing that they're a cashier, an executive officer in this process?
It makes an awful lot of sense, and I can see what kind of real adjustment this is to your process. Your process isn't all that different, but this is an ingredient that has been missing.
Yeah, we knew that we were on the other side of the looking glass, but we never thought that it was on the counter side.
So we're behind the counter there in front of the counter?
We are behind the counter, and they're out in front of the counter. They're out in the public. We're in the private, right?
Okay.
Yeah, if you're in the private, you're behind the counter. They can't see behind the counter. That's the problem. That's why they haven't recognized some of our documents, is because we haven't brought them forward. And that was one of the items out there that you have to bring them forward.
Well, it's interesting that the word cashier has that military meaning to it. Now it makes a whole lot of sense. I never knew why that word was being used.
Yeah, see, that was what basically, if we don't, and we know we have a merchant seaman, okay, out here under the Social Security, and that's where they have placed him, is under that Title 46. Both the DD 214 person and the Social Security person. They are merchant seamen now. And then when you deprive them of their pay, you are now committing an act of counterfeiting, because you are not bringing that forth. You are not giving the semblance of that which is true. So you are holding it in a fraudulent or a false state of being. And that's just a continuation of being in the counterfeit world.
Will we still be getting rid of our registered agent, resigning the registered agent?
Well, maybe if you do the habeas corpus, I don't think you're going to have to worry about that.
Okay, so that is essentially the same thing.
Yeah,
okay.
Because I got 2 letters back. I sent one in by fax to my Secretary of State, and then I sent a certified copy, and basically they sent the fax copies back to me, and they also sent the certified copies back to me, stating that they did not have those because they're not in the public. They're not in front of the counter. They're behind the counter. And see, that's at the very first, okay, that definition for behind. Used for listed equity securities at the same price, but entered after your order/interest. It's not going to be entered until you bring forth the order. And you can only do that as the cashier by doing the countersigning of that instrument. Then you bring from what is behind the counter to placing it ahead of you. To be processed and passed across the counter.
Yeah, I'm going to have to work an analogy up in my head for me being behind the counter and they're all in front of it. Any more questions, guys?
So when we countersign our Social Security card and our birth certificate and
No, you do a habeas corpus on those.
Oh, okay.
Okay. For right now, you do a countersigning of all bills that come in to basically give them the authenticity for and settlement for those items.
And I can take a certified copy of my mortgage document and I can countersign.
Yes, and you run a copy of it after you've countersigned it and stamped it. You run a copy of that, and then you send that in with that with the 1099-C, the B copy, and send that back to the mortgage company.
Okay.
You send the A copy of that 1099-C and put as much information as you need to on that 1099-C so that when it goes into the IRS, you'll have it there.
Okay.
Now you let the IRS go after them.
Do we need to countersign the copy A that we send to the IRS as well as the copy B that goes to the recipient?
No, you don't countersign the 1099-Cs.
Oh.
You countersign the bill.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the bill or the invoice or whatever, the traffic ticket, the loan, the mortgage, that is what you're countersigning. The instrument.
And the instrument goes to the bank.
Or goes to the utility company or to whoever, to the
Correct.
court,
Yeah.
to the clerk of the court. They're not the cashier. You're the cashier. See, that's where everybody thought that the clerk of the court was the cashier. Well, they may be the cashier for their side, but you're the cashier for your side. And you're a higher cashier than they are.
On my mortgage case, I have not been able to find the original mortgage instrument, but I do have a payout.
You don't need to. Just take a copy of it and countersign it. Send it in to them.
Okay. I do have a payout order which I could countersign.
You need to start keeping copies of all these documents that basically you put yourself under. And then stop doing them down the road here.
That's right.
Hey, Patrick.
Yeah.
Some time ago, I got a $5,000 frivolous filing fee from the IRS.
Yep.
I did a 1099 OID with a cover letter, and in the cover letter, I said I was the original issuer of the money. I did on the $5,000 frivolous filing fee paperwork from the IRS. I did acceptance for value, both sides. Sent it all back to them with a 1040V and a 1040 to claim it all as a refund. They issued me the refund. I made a mistake and put it down as income. So they calculated the income and taxes on the income, took that out for my refund. My point is, with the process that I did, it's not like what you're talking about here, but apparently it accomplished the same thing as what you're talking about, correct?
In a sense, yeah, it's getting to the same point, okay? What I'm doing here, you would cancel the debt for that item with them, and then you would turn around and do the 1099 OID to claim that back, and that you would try and use, and see, you would come in and be, when you did that, and why they claimed that as income is because you probably put down in the federal identification number your Social Security number.
That's all I had at the time, was the Social Security number.
Well, basically you had a post zip code and a box number also.
Mm-hmm.
You just didn't know that was the number you were supposed to be putting in there.
You're right. I did not know that.
Yeah. And see, then when you put that in there, then if you have your item in there, now you are exempt from taxes.
Okay.
You are the indemnified.
Okay. Well, the really cool thing about it is it did work. It turned fee into a refund for me. I haven't received a refund yet because I didn't file my 2012 taxes because I was unsure how to do that.
Well, basically, you can file the 1040 anytime. Okay, if that's the only thing you had. The 1041, you can file 50 of those a year if you want to.
Okay.
Okay? You don't have to wait until the end of the year to file this. You can do this on a monthly basis, file a 1041 after you get your estate EIN or your foreign grantor trust EIN.
All right. I will put together my 1041.
Yeah, see,
and
we're supposed to be able to get the funds back.
Yes.
Quickly. Not a year or two later or anything like that. That's all bullshit. And that word bullshit, I don't know how many movies I've watched lately out here that have the word bullshit in them. Well, see, is what we've been getting is the bullshit. We're supposed to be getting the tenderloins, the rump roast, all the good cuts of meat off that bull. And see, a bull is nothing but a contract. And then that was what was going on back in the temple in Moses' time. The bull was a contract. It wasn't an animal. We were supposed to be getting the real asset values back out of these things. They also have the goat that was sacrificed at the temple. Well, in a lot of cases, the goat is a scapegoat, a fraudulent insurance contract. And normally that was almost totally, you would get something out of that, but for the most part, that was totally thrown away. And they were then held accountable for that. Not that much meat on a goat. There is a little, but need a whole bunch of goats to make up one bull. Okay, any other questions?
Yes, Pat. This is Kevin. How you doing?
Okay, what's up?
I have a $45,000 civil penalty, so I should do a 1099-C on that, and then turn back around and do a 1041 to reclaim it back, and using my estate EIN number.
Well, what's the civil penalty for?
Well, somebody filed a frivolous 1041, and they didn't use the correct filings on it, so they tried to give it to me because it was in my name. Somebody fraudulently used my name, so I'm trying to get that cleared up.
Yeah, basically I would turn around and put do the cancellation of that, and basically turn around and also make the other party put the 1099 OID in against them.
Okay.
Yeah, to where they now have to pay the Treasury. Okay, if they're using your assets, okay?
Right.
And basically, but if you haven't got anything, I just cancel the debt, okay?
Okay.
Let the Treasury take care of it.
Okay, and then do I do anything besides the 1099-C?
No, I would just leave it right there.
Okay.
Just get it out of your hands, okay?
Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now, anything else in regards to our bills or something, we do a 1099 OID and then do a 1040 using our EIN number.
Only if you paid out of your back pocket.
Okay.
See, only when you pay out of your back pocket do you do the 1099 OID.
And that means when you pay out of your back pocket, like you purchase a car or mortgage and things of that nature.
Yeah, if you pay out of your back pocket and you have a loan or something like that,
right?
Okay, and you turn around, you put the claim in against your fictional person.
Okay. And that's with the OID, 1099 OID, and put the fictional person as the responsible for that. Okay. I understand.
Patrick, I have a question also.
Yeah.
Is it the same format if you just want lunch money? Because I don't have a mortgage or anything. My mom does, but I don't. So it'll be the same format, right, for lunch money.
Well, basically, you pick up all the receipts. You go down to Walmart tomorrow morning. You go through the bin down there and pick up all the receipts, and you come home, put them on an invoice, and then send it into Walmart and say, okay, here's an OID. You owe me this much money.
Yeah, all that crazy stuff that's going on with Walmart. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of receipts for the grocery stores and stuff, so I'll do that with the OID. Okay.
Well, that's basically you want to try, and in a lot of these mom and pop places, be very careful. Okay, these guys won't know, but if it's a interstate,
it'll
if
just
it's
be like
one that's in more than one state, go after them.
Like a Trader Joe, a Whole Food, a Gelson Market, a Ralph's, where I am. They're chains.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool.
Can you do this with the post office?
Yes.
I mean,
That's
I have
what
a
we were trying to do before. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you go into the business mail entry, but you put 1099 OID into them. Now they have to make the payment to the Treasury. Then you turn around and you go to the Treasury with the 1040 or the 1041 and claim that back.
Okay.
But you have to do the 1040 or the 1041 voucher to force them to make the payment to the Treasury. That's who's supposed to be making the payments to the Treasury, not us.
Now, do you have to wait until you have $600 or in?
Well, basically, if you do Walmart for $200, you do this outfit over here for another $200. I mean, you ought to be able to get $600 pretty quickly.
Oh, I mean, I probably have 1,000 just in post office.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you just put them down on an invoice. Basically, tell them which cash register that account came from, and it should be on all your receipts that you have from the post office.
And you don't mail them the individual receipts? You just put them on the
No, I
Excel
would
sheet?
just make an invoice and basically list them on there.
Okay.
If they want the receipts, basically you've got them. Same thing with the $300 penalty envelopes. You just make out an invoice listing those and send the invoice along with the 1099 OID and the the B copy and the 1040 voucher or the 1041 voucher.
Patrick, on the 1099-C that we sent in for the lunch money, what kind of corrections that we need to make on that?
Well, in some cases, we probably should just cancel those out and turn them into a 1099 OID. That's what I'm going to have to do for the ones that I sent into Dollar General with the receipts. I sent a 1099-C. I need to cancel that and turn around and submit a 1099 OID in its place.
Patrick? Hello?
Anybody else?
Just speak up.
Can we do anything with the ones that we were asking for $1 million or $1.5 million?
No, I would set that aside and try and do the habeas corpus.
Okay.
Well, that's what I was referring to, Patrick, when I was talking about the 1099-C lunch money, the 1.5. I just referred to it as lunch money.
Yeah.
So we just basically cancel that out completely.
Yeah.
Patrick?
Yeah.
I have to send in some papers to claim my daughter's pickup. She passed away, and she had no papers saying that I, her mother, could have her pickup when she died. They want a habeas corpus or an affidavit and a death certificate and a personal representative papers of the estate. What would I say in a habeas? Would that suffice rather than an affidavit?
Yeah, you can get a habeas or whatever and basically get two other living witnesses to witness that you are who you say you are.
Oh, my goodness. They do have them.
Okay, so an affidavit would be better or a habeas?
Huh?
Which would be better, a habeas corpus or an affidavit?
Well, that you're the owner of that vehicle now?
Then I'm the mother, yeah, and so I would be the owner of it.
I just do an affidavit.
Okay.
Do you have possession of it, or do they?
I do.
Okay. Then basically you just do an affidavit that belongs to you, and I wouldn't re-register it, okay?
Oh, you wouldn't?
Hell no. You want out of the system, don't you?
Yes, but I don't know how
Get
to
it
do
behind the counter. Then they can't touch it.
Okay. So,
Yeah, you need to listen to the other stuff that I put out here over the last couple of weeks about being the curator.
yes, I have listened. I'm just kind of slow catching on how this all works.
Yeah, I know. That's why in a lot of cases, some of you people have to go onto the group site there and try and start interneting with some people in a local area there and talk these things over.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's the only way you can really get a good understanding is to where you can convince yourself by talking to somebody else, and then you all sort of get in an agreement in what's going on here.
Okay.
Hey, Patrick, I have one question.
Yeah.
On the 1040V voucher, your employee identification number, do you use your state number or your trust number?
Well, I would go with the estate or the Social Security number.
Okay.
Okay, that's what is coming out of your indemnity bond. Okay. Your trust number doesn't have an indemnity bond with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, the trust is for the individual, for you. Okay, so that's where you would be coming in as the payer on the 1099 OID. And then you would basically utilize your estate or your foreign grantor trust EIN when you submit the 1096 form and then also the 1041V or 1041 tax return.
Okay. So when you're doing your 1040V voucher, 1041V voucher, you use your Social Security or your state EIN number.
Right.
Okay.
But see, you're putting it in that the indemnified document, and basically that's the Social Security card. That's the indemnifying bond or the counter veiling equity. The counter security, okay, is the Social Security.
Okay.
Patrick, you were talking about being able to buy a house on a call.
Try and do a utility bill or something first and see how it goes, okay? You got to build your confidence, okay? You're talking with no confidence right now in the way you're asking this question, so you have no confidence in this yet. I can tell that.
Okay. The other thing is about hospital bills.
Yes, you cancel them. You do a counter signing of them.
And that's just the counter signing on the back, correct?
Yes, and you give them the 1099-C. You cancel that debt.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All your medical bills, everything. These are all bills. You have to bring the authenticity to them as the cashier by endorsing them or countersigning them on the back. And then it's a set-off against your indemnity bond, your countervailing bond of indemnity, your Social Security or EIN, or even if you have a sub-security like a driver's license or a certificate of title to pay the taxes on that vehicle. Your property taxes for the house. You have a certificate of title. You basically do a countersigning on that bill that the county sends to you, and you send it back to them with a 1099-C. But you have to countersign it. That is the only way that the debt can be fully canceled, is to do the countersigning. Otherwise, the debt is remaining out there if we don't do this way. And that's why I say, when you read over these definitions, this should start jumping out at you.
Who's that kitchen worker we get every freaking time, guys?
What's that?
Someone's washing dishes.
Again, every time those guys, I don't know what's going on to their guy at the head, man. It's nonstop.
I got a question.
Okay.
On the $300 penalty envelope. Now, we know that we didn't pay that out of our back pocket. Now, when you do a 1099 OID, what would that imply? I mean, you use some postage, but that's just a penalty they put against your account.
Yeah,
but
and where I sent those in before, I was addressing those to, I think, the St. Louis office.
Uh-huh. So,
okay. We would still send them there.
Under the 1099 OID?
Under the 1099 OID. We forced them to make the payment to the Treasury out of the postal system. Now they have to pay that over there. See, those envelopes, they're mail, okay? They're money. So they're in the postal system. Now the postal system has to make the payment over to the Treasury. Then we can go to the Treasury and pull it out of there.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had almost all the right places and everything, but we didn't have the counter signing and looking at this from a counter system of the counterfeiting and that we were the cashier.
You got it right now.
Yeah. And see, we're standing behind the counter. Now we throw it across the counter to them.
But the IRS, on that 1041 return, they still try to hold it for 6 to 8 weeks.
They may or may not, okay?
No,
when you start doing something right, it may happen a lot quicker.
Yeah.
See, nobody's been doing this stuff right.
Okay. Well, we're going to see.
Yeah, that's the only thing we can do is just keep plugging away. But I would turn around and really also try and concentrate on understanding that habeas corpus.
From what I understand,
get rid of the guy. We don't need him. We start operating with lawful currency.
Speaking of this habeas corpus, Patrick, I'm looking at the definition online, and what I'm getting, what it's explaining is about somebody in prison and petitioning the court. And could you go into detail of what
habeas corpus is any time that somebody is depriving you or holding something of yours in bondage, okay? And they're basically holding your liberties. And you need to go into more than one definition on that. And I tried to put some of that up on the site there about the habeas corpus. I've got it in this counterfeit document, one of the definitions of habeas corpus in there. And I tried to highlight the word liberties. Okay?
Yeah.
See, it just doesn't apply to somebody that's in prison. What do you think our fictional person is? He is in the penitentiary known as 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Well, can I interject something here?
Yeah.
What I'm understanding now is this. The liberty, from what I've been studying, comes under the natural person clause. Also, the court and the judges come under the same thing. When you insert that word natural person, that incorporates your liberty. But it also incorporates the oath of office for the government officials and the court, the judges.
Not necessarily. Okay? I don't think they mention one damn thing about the judges or anything like that in the Declaration of Independence.
Well,
but yet the word liberty is in the Declaration of Independence, isn't it? And basically the liberty is your rights, your property, your freedoms, all that rolled into one.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
But that is true. But what I was saying is you could for court languages. Now I'm not talking about just saying something. They understand that word and what it means when you use it in a court system.
Yeah, but we're not going to be in court.
Huh?
What court are you going to?
If you put a ticket in a court, when you use that word, you basically talking to the judge.
What are you talking to the judge for?
Because the judge is the one who's going to hold your ticket. He's the one going to be...
No, you're not even going to get to court.
You misunderstand.
You're going to take that ticket. You're going to take that ticket and you're going to countersign it and give it to the fucking clerk of the court. It's going to be settled before that ever goes to court.
Well, that's the intent.
No, that's the actual thing. Basically, that now is a done deal. You just settled that in 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah. What did Paul say in the Bible? Stay the fuck out of the courts.
But that's the idea, Pat. That's why I said what I said. You're not going to court because of what you just did.
Yeah.
Because
But see, the only reason you're going to court is because you're going to court-martial.
Correct.
Because you did not do the counter signing of that document. So now you are depriving your military person, your seaman, of his just payments.
Okay, I see where you're going with that one. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And see, you're also counterfeiting when you do not bring forward and give the authenticity to that document to either to a countermanding of it or a countersigning of it.
Okay.
And see, basically they've got the insurance policy out there with the driver's license. So basically the driver's license is supposed to be paying for that damn thing.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, I've got a question about if you're. I'm assuming if you're on disability benefits that has nothing to do with it. You can still use all of this.
Yes.
Okay, and then this is more of a question of curiosity. The Social Security benefits and all that for like disability and all that. Does that come out of quote unquote taxpayer money, or does that actually come out of our accounts?
It's coming out of your fucking account, okay?
That's what I thought.
Unemployment, all that shit, it don't come. You are not paying for somebody else out there. They have their own account.
Yeah.
And basically, when they sign up for unemployment or whatever, basically they have their own Social Security number. They're writing bonds against their account. See, that's what I tried to argue with people about this before, but everybody thinks, Joe Blow over here is living off my taxes that I pay. No, you fucking idiot. That ain't the way the fucking game's played. But yet the government has all these nitwits running around out here thinking that they know the damn money system. They have not one clue of how the money system really works.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'll get a little rough at times.
That's all right. Okay, I see, Patrick. You got your definitions from the amateurs. All right, I'll get that.
I just wish that some of these people, instead of opening up their damn mouths so damn much, would sit back and pull out a dictionary and look up some of these words that I've been trying to spoon feed them for years.
Can you mute everybody? Tom, this fucking guy doesn't get it.
Oh, is there any more questions? If not, we could call it a night, and we'll talk tomorrow night.
Patrick?
Read over that document, and then if you have any other questions or anything like that, write them down, and we'll talk it over tomorrow night, okay?
Patrick.
Yeah.
Patrick, this is Marshall.
Yeah, go ahead.
I tried doing the revoking with a traffic ticket for not having proof of insurance, and I looked on a site, and it's a registered site. It issued a warrant on me. So what would you suggest? I have a 1099-C if they come to the door?
Well, I would turn around and take those traffic tickets and turn around and do a countersigning of them and do the 1099-C and cancel the debt.
And
Make
hand
the
that,
payment.
And hand that to the deputy then?
Well, try and get it down to the clerk of the court, okay? Keep a copy of that, okay? And have that ready, okay?
All right.
Send a notice into the judge also that this has been settled. and that you will be basically, if need be, you will call in the Secret Service, because now they are the ones that are operating in counterfeiting.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to understand your bills of settlement for like a mortgage. Are we just going to fill in line 2, the debt discharge only? Don't mess with the interest or the fair market value. Just fill in that what the original was.
Just fill in block. What is it? Block 2 and 4. I think they should do the same.
Well, block 4 would be the description of the debt.
Yeah.
Block 2 is discharge. Number 3 was interest, but we're not going to mess with the interest.
Yeah, just put 0 interest or whatever, and basically just get that sent in to them and cancel the debt for that.
Right. Do we do anything with block 7 where it says fair market value?
Well, only if you paid out of your back pocket.
Okay.
Or can we take it with the OID?
Yeah, and then basically you turn around and claim that back with the OID, forcing them to make the payment to the Treasury.
Okay, so we still got to be concerned about 7 then.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Now, for what is owed back to you, and basically you could say on that 1099-C that the following will be addressed on the 1099 OID to be a payment being made back to the Treasury.
And we would do that. We would do that on the back with the countersigning.
Well, you can do it. You can address that on the countersigning too.
Yes.
Okay, as your counterclaim.
Right.
Now, you can add counterclaims on underneath your countersigning.
So should we switch the debt description to counterclaim instead of income bond debt?
No. That is, you're going to put the counterclaim below, okay? Or you can put it above that block that you do the countersigning up with. You make that a special item. Like on a traffic ticket, you make the counterclaim to pay the appearance bond when you are giving this back to them. Say, here, I'm canceling this debt, but oh, by the way, here's my counterclaim. I want my appearance bond. Okay, any other questions? If not, we'll pass it off till tomorrow night, okay?
That's a good idea. Thank you very much, Patrick. It's been a very good call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Patrick.
Okay, you guys take care.
You too.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Patrick.
Will they be able to hear this
Good night.
recorded somewhere?
Good night.
Will we be able to hear this recorded somewhere?
What?
Will we be able to
Yeah.
hear this